This is the A-Spadz Cavet European version.
And this is the A-Spadz Cavet American version. They look the same, but they're different. Spoilers ahead, this is the best cafe racer e-bike I review in this channel. It is incredible value for money, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, let me show you the unboxing experience. So the people at A-Spadz, they promised me this is gonna be the easiest e-bike I have ever put together. And believe me, I put together a lot of e-bikes. So, let's get to it. Well, apparently that's it. And I don't need to cut the box or remove any of the metal brackets, so this is very convenient. It's simply just lifting off the top part of the box. But before I do that, I just want to remark something very clever that they did here. They make it look like it's a big TV, so that you can see it's a bike. And probably it's going to be declared as an e-bike when transportation. But transportation in different countries might be a little bit different, and making it look like it's a TV, so then the people who do transport these boxes from A to B, they're going to be a little bit more careful because you say AK Ultra HD 144 Hz. You can still see it's a bike. It is definitely something that they did in purpose. They make it look like a TV, even so it's an e-bike. Okay, let's leave. Okay, that was really easy. Okay, so far so good. The front wheel is already on, and that's a first. And that's probably the hardest thing to do when you put together an e-bike, is to assemble the front wheel. Okay, let's get this out of the box complete. Oh my god, it's that easy. And we have the kickstand. So we have a kick, this is already assembled. We just need to put the handlebar, and that's about it, I guess, and the battery. Okay, let's get to it. Once you get the bike out of the box, all is left, it's just this 1 liter box with basically all the accessories and tools to put together the bike, and obviously the battery as well. I personally do not like to put this on the bike, but I know that in many countries these are mandatory. Basically, the e-bike is illegal if you do not have this one, so let's go ahead and put it. You can see the Cavet comes available in different colors, and that is so refreshing. Most cafe racer e-bikes only come in black color. This comes in blue, in yellow, black, and I believe there is a limited edition red and white. By the way, the blue color is just so nice. It's not just blue, it's like light blue with teal. And the yellow one, it looks like a sport car, like a racing car. It's kind of like the Chevrolet Camaro from Transformer. It looks really nice. And they combine the yellow and black, and in this case, the light blue and blue. So nice. At the beginning of the video, I said that these bikes are different. One is the European version, one is the American version. And you may be wondering, okay, they look exactly the same. How come they're different? Well, first and most importantly, the American version does have a thumb throttle here on the right side, and that's allow you to ride it basically the same way you would ride a motorcycle. You do not need to pedal whatsoever. The other big difference is the top speed of this bike when it's fully unlocked is 45 kilometers per hour. I did test it out with a GPS tracking system and it was 47, so a little bit more than what they actually claim. And this one is locked at 25 kilometers per hour, not on throttle, you have to pedal all the time. So that's basically the two main differences between the European and the American version. Theoretically speaking, these also have a smaller motors. So apparently these have a 250 watt motor and these have a 750 watt motor, but there is no way in hell I'm gonna believe that this is a 200 watt motor. Maybe a constant speed 250, but the peak motor power on this one, it's gonna be at least 500 watts because it is actually very powerful. It's hard to believe it's only 250. But nonetheless, it is, if you're buying this in Europe, there is just absolutely no way that someone can prove the wattage on the motor. So, you know, the top speed is 25, not on throttle, you know, it is actually quite comfortable to ride. More on that later. So I guess it's time to go for a ride with both of them and talk a little bit about the riding experience. First, let's talk quickly about the riding experience. It is very comfortable. We do have a dual hydraulic suspension system on the front. We have no suspension on the back. The seat is a little bit hard, but it's okay, I guess because it's new. The geometry of the bike is actually really good. I am 180 centimeters tall, that is 5'10", if I'm not mistaken, and I am 93 kilos. I'm a big rider. That is like 230 pounds, so I'm a pretty big rider. I'm heavy and I'm tall. And this bike seems to suit me really nicely. Pretty good, actually. Before I go ahead, I want to show you some of the unique features on the Cavet Air and also compare it with another cafe racer. This is the Finn-Holland C9 that I reviewed not too long ago, and believe it or not, they're about the same price, even so the Cavet Air offers a lot more. So, for example, a unique feature here, it is this saddlebag is only able to be mounted on this bike. You cannot mount this on any other cafe racer. 8 liter, fully waterproof. You can easily take it out with you if you want. We have this bag here that perfectly fits. I'm not so sure it's especially designed for this bike, but it does look nice. This is a more generic bag, but still, you have a lot of options here for accessories. Another accessory, and probably my favorite, is this one right here. We do have a foot peg, and the seat, it is long enough that you can take a passenger. By the way, this is the most beautiful seat I have seen on a cafe racer. This is not generic. They designed this very intentional, and they put the light here on the back and it looks so nice. Another thing that is looking premium and nice and unique is the mudguard. This is looking very nice. It's not something you see on any other cafe racer. Now, just for example, and I'm gonna show you here with my Finn-Holland C9, we have these very generic mudguards. They're cheap. They're weak. You can see how they're shake. There is no foot peg. The seat is a small, generic, something that you get from a factory, and they use it for many different cafe racers out there. Something very important to highlight here is the geometry on the bike, and this is something that not many people talk about, and it's very, very important. So the geometry means the way you stand on the bike and how comfortable it is, especially for riding for longer periods of time. The geometry on this bike is decent, it's okay. This one have rear suspension, something that the Cavet Air doesn't, but I don't feel much of a difference. They're both equally comfortable. Now, when I sit on the Cavet Air, keep in mind we have a passenger seat, and when I sit on this one, it actually feels more comfortable. This is a little bit taller, it feels a little bit bigger. My back is a lot more relaxed. I can stand straight. Especially if you're riding this like a motorcycle, it is so comfortable. The wheels are 20x4, same as this one. Some other cafe racers maybe have 20x5, but completely unnecessary. I would rather much have a 20x4 because that gives you a little bit of extra range. The other thing that gives you a lot of range, in this case, 15% more range, that's at least what A-Spadz claimed, is this tread. And it makes a lot of sense. Most of these bikes are gonna be for people that ride on the city. You don't need the off-road treads. That's really unnecessary. And if you wanna take this bike off-road, maybe take it to the beach, it's still gonna perform very well. But this is gonna be your more range and way better braking, since it's a lot more grippy. I found an eye place here on the shade so I can better show you the displays. Even so it looks very reflective, we can still see it even on bright daylight. So I press and hold here the top button and the display start. You can see it's nice, colorful, full color display. We have a lot of important information here. We have the time riding, trip, odometer, speed, battery, the mode, which is power, and the gear. This is the assist gear, but it's also changing the amount of power when you're using the throttle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we have another button here that if we press and hold, we go into the extensive settings, and in here there is a lot that we can change. I'm not gonna go into it because it's gonna be pretty long time, but you can adjust many different settings. Once you're done, save and exit. Here on the side we can see we have the lights, high beams, low beams, and you can switch them off. We have a proper hooter. It's basically the same hooter you'll get on a motorcycle. We have here the gear selectors. It's a Shimano 7-speed. Not the best out there, not the worst either. It's actually pretty decent. We can see at all times which gear you are riding on. And here we have the sun throttle. When it comes to the European version, there is no sun throttle like the yellow Cavet Air that I have. That's the one Stefan is riding right now. But even so, there is no sun throttle and you are forced to pedal. It is very powerful. We just climbed a very steep mountain, and when I say we, well, that was Stefano, which climbed the whole mountain without even touching the handlebar. At least most of the time, he wasn't even touching the handlebar, and he was very comfortable. No much effort going up, and that's because the motors are very strong. There is a lot of torque, so that's a very good thing. When it comes to the pedaling comfort, most cafe races are not very comfortable. This one in particular is actually really good. These bikes, both the American version and the European version, they have a system called cadence. And cadence systems is not the best. You would rather, if possible, have something called torque system, which is more sensitive to the amount of pressure you put in the pedals. This one, what it does is, once you start pedaling, it just kind of goes. For example, now I'm on 4th gear, 25 kilometers per hour, and there is a little bit of ghost pedal. So I'm gonna keep up here with my cameraman. It's a lot of wind. I apologize in advance if there is a lot of wind noise, but yeah, it's windy. So now I'm gonna bring it down to 1 gear, the 1st gear, because I really don't need to go that fast here. It's flat. Yeah, so it's just very comfortable bike to ride. Very relaxing. There are quite a lot of specs that have a lot of numbers for me to remember, so I'm just gonna read it. In the meantime, while I'm reading, which is kind of boring, I'm gonna have Stefano right behind me trying to do a wheelie and a stoppie on a Cafe Racer e-bike. Quite a challenge, and by the way, you only have 1 minute. Okay, let's go, start, timer. Okay, so we have a TFT display with IP67 water resistant, and we also have the high beam is 230 lux, and the horn is 180 decibels. Like, I'm gonna remember all those numbers. The tires, they claim to have a 15% more range because of the different treads that they have. We have hydraulic disc brakes that they're claimed to be the same hydraulic disc brake they're being used for the Surron e-motorcycle, that they reduce 40 to 20% braking distance. I gotta say, the braking feels really good, so probably. By the way, these brakes they'll be testing for more than 1,000 kilometers wear resistance, so they will last you quite long. He almost killed someone. Okay, now, I already mentioned the hydraulic suspension. There are a lot of accessories available. And here is the range for the Cavet Air European model. We have a 75 kilometers of range, but this is with a 70 kilogram rider at full speed. This it claims to be a real test. The charger takes about 6 to 8 hours to charge. The total weight of the bike is 35 kilograms and the max load is 180 kilograms. That was tested because me and Stefan both ride into one bike. The battery is 48 volts, 15.6 amps. Let me see what else. And the motors is a Shen E 44 volts, 250 watts, high torque. I guess, yes. It feels like it's very powerful, so maybe. Yeah, that's about it for the European version, the one he's riding. When it's come to the American version, well, it is a lot more powerful. They claim a 750 watt motor, and I think it's probably a little bit more, or it will have a peak power motor of like around 1,000, if not more. And just using the thumb throttle on first gear is a little bit slow. It's about 14 kilometers per hour. As I switch to second gear, it immediately kick on. By the way, Stefano, the cameraman, is sitting behind me. We have a combined weight of about 150 kilograms, which is something like 300 pounds. So the bike is heavy. On second gear, we are doing 20 kilometers per hour and going third gear. By the way, we are going uphill on a mountain. Now we are 23, 26, it's quickly climbing. Even so, we are going uphill with two big guys. I'm doing fourth gear. It's quickly going up on speed. Fifth gear. It has a lot of torque. We're constantly going uphill here. Maybe it doesn't look like on the video, but yeah, we are climbing, all the time climbing. With two big guys. 33 kilometers per hour. Okay, there is a turn and another turn. It's difficult here to go fast. There is so many people and too many turns. Okay, here. Here, flatten out a little bit the road. So you can clearly see this bike, it is actually very powerful with two big guys on top, climbing up. It's kind of like a motorcycle. It really does feel like a motorcycle. The fact that we can, two big guys sit on it at the same time is already a big deal. So I tried to get it into top speed in this particular road with the Stefan on the back. I couldn't because there are so many turns, you can see, and it's a little bit dangerous and there is too many people. Hi, how you doing? In conclusion, these bikes are a lot of fun. I gotta say, if you live in Europe, having something like this is very unique. I mean, I am basically from Barcelona. I mean, born and raised in Argentina, but my whole family lives in Barcelona for 30 years. There are a lot of hills in the area where I live, in Granollers. Shout out to anybody from that area. There basically is an area with a lot of mountains and you constantly hill climbing, whatever it is that you're riding. And a bike like this that have absolutely no problem hill climbing. I mean, there is so much torque that is absolutely no problem. I mean, you have all the European limitation, of course, but it is a really nice bike and you can take a passenger. It is very unique and yeah, it looks very cool. I still like more the American version, of course, because it's a lot more powerful and I don't know, I'm attracted to that sporty yellow color. By the way, both these bikes are at a very low price. I gotta say, it is very generous from A-Spadz. This one have a starting price of 1,300 euros. And if you subscribe to their newsletter, you get $200 off or 200 euros off. And using the link in the description down below and discount code GABI, you get another 50 euros off. So you end up with a bike that is only like 1,049 euros. So really affordable. This one, in the other hand, I believe is gonna be $1,700 in US. The same, you can get $200 off by subscribing to their newsletter and $50 off by using the link in the description down below and discount code GABY, that is G-A-B-Y. Okay, that's it for me. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to reply to all of you. And I'll see you in the next one. Adios, amigos.